Hello? Hello?
Oh,
Hello? Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Hi. Hi, David. Hi. It's nice to meet you. You won't be able to join us via video. Okay. Hello.
Let me try and switch my internet. I think it's a bit slow.
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Is this better now?
Yeah, it's way better, I think. I haven't really studied it, but yeah, it's way better. Hi, it's nice to meet you, David. It's really nice to meet you. Thank
Yeah.
you a lot for doing this. I'm imagining how you had to like cut out of your very busy Monday just to show up. Yeah. So
It's
how
always cool.
how?
It's cool.
Thank you. So how are you doing?
I am good, actually. I'm still recovering from the weekend resting, but I'm good.
Right. It's so difficult to like just jump into Monday, like just jump, like gosh, it's a big deal. It's a
Yeah.
big deal. I can imagine. Yeah. So how is work right now? How is work going right now?
It's actually pretty good. There are a lot of moving parts, but like everyone knows what they're doing right now, so it's cool.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I guess we'll just get right into it. So I mean, I am not very much of a techie person, so to speak. But I'm always fascinated when I meet people that are into tech. I work in tech, but I myself am not tech. I do marketing in tech, so that's not really tech per se. So I'm always fascinated when I meet people that are actually doing it, and it's very fascinating because I don't even understand what you guys are doing, right? So can you just tell me like what do you do at Cowrywise? I know that you are a you're a software engineer, but what exactly do you do in simple terms? In simple terms.
Okay. In simple terms, I work on the invisible parts that makes Cowrywise work. So I work on the back end. That's like what the when you press a button on the app, what does the button do? Like the thing that it does at the background, that's what I work on. I'm a back-end engineer at Cowrywise.
I see. So like if I so the thing that makes it work, so like I can, let's say, see the figures of my monthly
Exactly. So that you
um
can save money, so that you can
savings and
withdraw.
stuff like that.
Exactly.
I see. That's fascinating. So when did you start taking interest in like exploring computers or like building software or like building stuff that building stuff that people can see on the outside and say, okay, this is actually providing a solution for me?
So it's in two stages for me. So the first stage was when I was growing up. I just always liked computers and then figuring out how things worked. I would dismantle something like the TV and then try to put it back, or break my grandpa's phone and try to fix it. Like I was always doing silly things like that. So I just grew up with that love of computers and making things work and figuring out how things work. But I didn't really act on it. I didn't know it was something I could do as a career, right? When I was in high school, when you're a brilliant child, the first thing they tell you is go and study medicine, or go and study. So in my mind, I was heading towards
Yeah.
that path, and I didn't want to go towards that path because I didn't really like stuff like that. So when I was feeling jam form, I just chose computer science. I just chose it. I was like, what the hell? So I was the first person to do something other than, the medical thingy related stuff. And it, I didn't really know why I was doing it. I just thought that, okay, computer science is fine, and I did it. And along the way, I ended up, finding my paths throughout the whole, mess and everything.
I like the fact that you said that you were kind of like the first person. So I'll say maybe the first person in your circle or maybe in your family or something like that to like do
Yeah,
computer
my family,
science.
because I don't think they would have, at that time, they would have considered computer science a serious course, right?
They
Because
didn't.
most people
Nobody did.
study pharmacy or engineering.
Architecture.
Exactly. So when I did computer science, in fact, my grandpa was like, "Who chose this for me? That why did I choose that? Did nobody direct me?" So, well, yeah, I just did it, and it sort of worked out.
Okay, so did your family eventually just decide to support you regardless? Or did they have their doubts, but they were like, let him just do it?
Well, so the thing with computer science in Nigerian schools is that they don't exactly teach it, right? They just show you stuff that, this thing. They don't really teach it,
And you
right? And
eventually
then I
have to
didn't
find
like.
out by yourself.
Exactly. You have to figure out a lot of things by yourself. So I was on the path of neglecting school to figure out a lot of things by myself. And my parents did not like that. They were always focused on, you need to graduate, you need to get a first class, you need to do this. And when I was in my 400 level, I think I had already done like a lot of stuff from my 100 to 300 level. And they were at the point they were like that they did not care if I had a first class or whatever. They just wanted me to finish school. They were like, okay, we see that you can do this thing without school now, but just stay in school and then get your degree. You get, but it wasn't always like, oh, we're in support with you from the beginning. It wasn't like that. Like, just do your course and get out.
It wasn't the norm, so I can imagine um them holding back, like, so
Yeah.
so did you so you always so in other words, you kind of always maybe in a little way knew that you would code in quotes.
I can't say I always knew, to be honest. I can't say that. I knew I liked stuff like that, but I did not see myself doing that as a career. Like, I just knew it was a hobby to me at some point, and then it
Okay.
just grew. Yeah.
It's good to become more
So yeah.
than a hobby. Okay. So you had to figure out a lot of things yourself, like, because like just like you said, computer science in most Nigerian schools isn't really how it should be, in the sense that there isn't that level of project-based learning, practical learning, and so that you can understand what exactly goes down, not just theory. So how did you figure out stuff by yourself? Like, who were your I don't know if I should say who were your role models, right? Maybe not role models, but at least who were the people that you trusted to learn from, right? Whether they were people that were maybe people you had to learn from offsite, that's like maybe online, or like just like watch what they did, or people that eventually actually held your hands to say, okay, this is how to do this is how to do that, that helped you to
Okay.
nurture your already existent love for the profession.
Yeah. So a lot of this whole programming thing was self-taught for me. But the thing about claiming to be self-taught is that you could learn the wrong things because you're learning by yourself, right? So I
True.
was learning programming, but to a place where I should not have learned up to, right? I was learning things that I did not need. And then I showed someone, when I was in 100 level, I showed someone in 300 level, I think, a project that I had built. And then he saw it. That was the first time I'll ever show like someone else something I had built. And then he saw it and was like, oh, why didn't I use this other thing for it? And I was like, oh, I could do that. So after that experience, I like kept on going to like people in like higher classes to find out, oh, what are you guys doing? What are you guys
Okay.
learning now? And then I would pick up something for it and then try and learn it myself. So it was more of, let me see what I can learn myself, and then I'll show it to someone that, oh, did this make sense? And then yeah. So but for online, I did a lot of YouTube. I did a lot of YouTube. The new Boston, I'm sure he's like a lot of programmers would know him over from that time. Sha. So I downloaded a lot of YouTube tutorials, even the ones I did not need. I just wanted to like have something so that when I wanted to learn it, I would know where to open it from. So
Learning.
yeah, I did a lot of YouTube tutorials, and yeah, basically YouTube tutorial, then meeting people that had done stuff or similar stuff, and then asking them, "What do you think about this?" And yeah, that was pretty much my learning part.
Okay, so I see that there's a lot of here and there with different people, classes
Yeah,
higher than yours, and then you've mentioned someone on YouTube. What did you call him again? The New Boston.
in New Boston. Yeah,
Boston. Never heard of him, obviously, because I'm not in your
yeah,
field, but I can imagine what it would be like to just learn, literally learn what you do for a living on
yeah.
YouTube. That's literally what you're saying that you did.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I didn't just do YouTube. At the early stage, it was mostly YouTube because it was free. And then I figured
uh-huh.
along that I could pay for some courses. There was Udemy, there was
Oh, so you
Pluralsight.
started paying for courses. So like places like where I know there's Udemy, there's Coursera. So
Yeah,
where
so
did
I,
you
I
do your
did
paid
a lot of
courses?
plural sites. So it was Pluralsight and Udacity, and then
Okay.
Udemy tutorials I got from friends. But yeah, a lot of Pluralsight actually.
Okay, okay, okay. So looking back now, I already know the answer to this question, but I would still like to know what you think. Would your journey have been easier if how would I put it, if if regular unconventional career paths like studying computer science were encouraged as much as they are now? So if it was like computer science was also like I want to study law of that time, or it was also like I want to do medicine of that time, do you think that your journey would have been easier?
Um, well, I won't say it would have been easier. So the whole it being conventional is just one part. The second part is actually learning it like the right way. Computer science is very hands-on, and then people can't just feed you theories and then you feel like you are learning it. So yeah, it would have been easier if there was a spot that yeah, you're doing computer science, that's cool at that time, and then it was actually also being taught well at the same time. So it's a bit of both.
I see. So if you met someone like you that was very interested in computer science or like software computer-ish, and then they are not sure of what exactly to study, what exactly to do, like what would you say to them? So because I know that a lot of people code, there's back end engineering, there's front end engineering, I know there's UI UX design, there's
Yeah.
programming and tons of different things. But it seems like everybody that wants to do that always like goes through the door of computer science. So I'm even worried as to how they differentiate. Like, how did you differentiate? Because computer science is like, sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like computer science should be like a whole like faculty or a
Exactly.
whole
Yeah.
school or something because
Oh, that
there's
would be my
a
thought.
lot in it. So how did you differentiate into? I've deviated from my question now, but I'll go back to that question.
Yeah.
But now I think you should answer this question. How did you deviate from just studying computer science to actually doing back end engineering?
Yeah. So along the course of my career, I have done a lot of things. I was once a graphic designer. I was once
Wow.
a web developer. I was once a mobile developer. So what worked for me is that I tried a bit of everything, and then I like saw the one I liked the most.
And you
Yeah,
stopped
for
there.
for someone else, it might be that they want to just do the one that pays well, right? And that's not a bad thing. So you should just know the reason why you are doing this thing, right? If you are someone that likes designs, you are like someone that has good eyes visually, right? You shouldn't be thinking about back end. You should know that oh, this is what UI UX or design will work better for me, right? So you should first know what you want to do and then why you are doing it. If you are doing it for the money and you're finding the most expensive, the highest paying role, that's fine. Pick AI or whatever and then learn it and then be good at it, right? You just need the right motivation and then you need to know what you are good at or why you are learning what you are learning. So I can't say everyone should be like me and try everything, but if that works for you, touch a bit of everything and then pick the one that works best for you.
Okay, so For someone that is confused on what to study or how to first of all, African parents, how did you tell your African parents that you wanted to do computer science? Did you just like spring it up on them, or did you just like go and they just found out themselves? How did you do it?
So the
I'm
thing
interested
is,
in that.
I think my parents were actually very supportive of whatever I chose, right? They didn't push me to choose this or choose that. They just waited for me to choose and they were like, oh fine, no problem, go ahead with it. So
Hmm.
my case is a bit different. I do not know how to explain it
Wow.
for other people. But I think you just need to be able to like give reason for it. Like you need to be able to defend that this is why I want to do this. And I believe that your parents should like understand like at that point. And if they don't understand, then you should also see their reason. Because I don't think you even need a computer science degree to be a developer. No, you don't actually need a computer science degree to be a software engineer, right? So you can still study your law or study your pharmacy and then learn your computer science stuff online. I know a couple of people that have done that and they are doing really well for themselves right now. So you don't always have to go into a formal like system to study computer science. You can still be a developer without studying computer science as well.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, okay. So for someone that, like I said before, is interested in studying something related to computer science, and maybe they have supportive um, family as well, you know, was there a sense of fear for you doing the unknown in quotes?
Yeah, all the time. I think even till
Wow,
now,
are you
because
serious?
yeah, because it feels like there isn't a lot of people that have gone through a particular like this certain pattern have in Nigeria. Like, so it's when you are picking out role models, you can only pick out based on the people that you know or that it has worked for. You
Yeah,
can't point this guy in America and be like, oh, he did it and it worked for him this way. You know, it's I think it's always very scary at every point. But what I do is that I look back and I feel like, oh, I have gone from this stage to this stage and I was fine. So I don't have to bother about the next 2 or 3 stages.
I'll
Right.
be
But yeah, it's
fine.
always very scary. I don't think that fear leaves anyone at any point. Yeah. But yeah, it's
Hmm.
actually always
So the journey is going to be scary, but you should do it regardless.
yeah, yeah, it is. Anything worth doing right is going to be hard. So you just have to face it.
Hmm. That's true. Anything that is eventually going to be worth it is
Yeah.
definitely going to have some level of, can I do this? Can I not do this? Okay, so if I were you, like 10 years ago or something, if you had the chance to meet yourself about 10 years ago or something, what would you say to yourself?
Um, I would tell myself to stop worrying a lot,
Hmm.
or stop overthinking a couple of things. Because okay, I did not like see myself working in Cowrywise 5 years ago or 4 years ago, right? And so when I got the Cowrywise interview, I almost did not show up because I was like, do I even have
Do
like
you
the
qualify?
I
Wow,
call
I can
it.
imagine.
And so I'm very sure that there are a lot of other opportunities that I have felt like that about, and I did not go for because I felt like I wasn't ready for it yet. So my advice to myself would have been to stop worrying about it and just go for it.
If it works out, it's fine. If it doesn't, another one will come. Okay, okay, okay. So I guess I've run out of questions, but like I've really gotten a grasp or an understanding of how your journey was. And I mean, the goal of this was just to understand how it was for somebody that was trying to do something that was unconventional. That's in your time, right? Not even now that we have tech bureaus and Texas. Even now, is still now like people are still struggling to catch up. Actually,
Yeah,
even till
actually, yeah.
now, people are still struggling to catch up. When you say you want to drop out of school to pursue your career, maybe in building apps or something, and people are like, what? I want to leave, you understand? And nobody is even asking anybody to leave school because, you should, like get a degree and do what it is that suits you. But at the end of everything, the goal is to explore your passions as much as you can, explore the things that make you curious as much as you can, as long as they're legal, of course. Right? Explore the things that make you curious, explore the things that you're passionate about, and like not just ignore them or leave them because you're scared or leave them because you don't know what is going to like come out of it. And as much as you can even help others that are trying to explore themselves, it's great to always like lend a hand, right? Okay. So as we round off, do you have any last words?
Yeah, I think this is like the second interview I'm having like this, and then the
Okay.
last word I'm having people that are learning like stuff like computer science or like anything tech related is don't stop learning, right? That's the important thing. Always like watch videos, watch talks, go for meetups if they're there. Just don't stop learning and know what like how you learn. I learn better with videos. Some people learn better with books, right? But just don't stop learning no matter what, because things change really, really fast in this
I don't
industry.
want to be
Like
left behind.
you don't want to be that person that's using version 2 of something that is in version 10, just don't
Wow.
stop.
And tech tends to move so fast. Like you just hear one day that they brought out one thing, that thing, and I mean
Yeah.
you don't want to be left behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much, David. This was nice. This chat was really nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.